I saw some people joking around with the Mariah Carey diss to Jennifer Lopez, Marc Daly, parents when asked of Kenya Moore, the I don't know her and all of that. So I just thought that the title I put in there, they know her, and you guys are going to see why I'm saying that. For those of you who missed it, Kenya doesn't care. I'm just being silly with the title. When you're black, is this beautiful? Even in your not so pleasant moments. Yeah, I see why they're mad, but that's not why I jumped in the beginning of the video. I just realized that during editing, I did not say that the video you're about to watch is from our adorable Brooklyn baby shower. I do have a playlist on here called The Dailies, and I also have a second playlist called The Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of that. So if you want to watch the entire baby shower, if you missed it, definitely go to the Dailies playlist and you can watch the baby shower there. There's a part 1 and a part 2. What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Vienna Entertainment News.
Of course, you guys know my story. I met the love of my life at 46 years old, and it was a whirlwind romance, and that turned into a ring and a wedding, and now a baby. And I would just like to acknowledge his beautiful mother, Miss Daly in the house, and his father, Marc Daly, just for just creating such a beautiful soul and allowing me to find somebody who truly loves baby. And I would just like to acknowledge his beautiful mother, Miss Daly in the house, and his father, Marc Daly, just for just creating such a beautiful soul and allowing me to find somebody who truly loves you. And I want to acknowledge some people that are in the room too. First of all, you guys met my court. This is the throne. Wait, the throne to baby Daly's throne. So you guys know Brandon, and of course my Aunt Lori, who you haven't seen in a while. Cynthia Bailey. And my Aunt Lisa, I don't know if you guys know, but we grew up in the same home together. That's my grandmother's daughter. And you guys know my grandmother passed not too long ago, so this all just makes me feel so good to have her spirit in the room and just know that she would have blessed this occasion. And of course I can't hardly breathe because I don't know why I'm talking like this, but this has been going on for like the last 2 months where I'm always out of breath. So, and then of course my best friend from high school, from the 10th grade, Shonda, who you guys saw a long time ago. And of course Brandon, everybody knows Brandon. Lisa Phillips is my high school, started off as my high school teacher, but became one of my best friends. My counselor now is the principal to the most prestigious high school in Detroit, Cass Technical High School. So Lisa, so she's my aunt, she's not even my friend.
Before we get to Mark's parents, okay, let me just quickly add, Aunt Lori was there. Aunt Lisa was there. Kenya, best friend since the 10th grade, was there, okay? Kenya, teacher turned counselor turned friend, who is now the principal, was there. So to all the people, oh, she doesn't have any friends outside of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, trying to add someone else narrative on Kenya, not to mention, of course, Brandon. We love Brandon. But if you don't follow Kenya and you don't support her, then you don't know. So it's interesting when people just jump on this bully bandwagon, even though they know nothing about someone. In order for you to come to a conclusion that this person's a liar, this person is this, at least do a little research. Don't just go off the word of what someone else is saying. If Kenya Moore is this terrible person that Bravo and this liar and all this stuff that Bravo have tried over and over again to present, then every other day there will be people coming out of Hollywood, people that have worked with her friends. There will be videos all over the internet of people dragging Kenya Moore name. And after all of these years in the industry, You don't hear nothing negative about Kenya coming out of there. Once in a while, you might hear something from someone who's simply trying to be a hater and looking for clout. But apart from that, I'm talking about the people who actually been around her. Nothing. Crickets. All you hear is how awesome she is. Everybody says it. But anyways, let's talk about Mark, about the video that you just watched that Mark's parents been in her life. She's met them. So let's get into that. Well, there you have it. Kenya never said that she never met Marc Daly parents. Those were not her words. The same way how she never said she Mia called her first. The word first never left her mouth, okay? She said she Mia texted or called her, but it was never first. Portia added the word first, and then social media took what Portia said and ran with it. I'm going to talk about that more in the review. This one, I'm going to focus on Kenya and Mark's situation, so I'm not doing the entire episode review in this video. But as you can see, Kenya introduced Mark's parents, okay? So she had a relationship with them. Now, I want you guys to go to Bravo Watch What Happens Live YouTube page, okay? Andy and his people title, every little clip, so it's not going to be hard to find. Click the one talking about Kenya and Mark's relationship. Are they still together? Are they quarantining together? What's going on? Click that one and watch it, okay? You will hear Kenya talk about Mark and his parents having issues. I think the problem is Kenya was trying to be so careful not to put Mark's business out there and his issues with his parents, but in return, it made it look like she was the problem and he didn't want her to talk to his parents because, people making all of their own assumptions, or he have another family that talk to his parents and all of these things. But if you listen to what Kenya said on Watch What Happens Live, apparently Mark have issues with his parents, personal issues. And because of his personal issues with his parents, she's not allowed to talk to them because why? He's not talking to them. Go watch that video, you will see it have nothing to do with who she is as a person and his parents not wanting to talk to her. What Kenya is saying is, I've been here before. My daughter is possibly going to grow up without, her grandmother, but Kenya have an amazing family. So Brooklyn will be just fine, okay, with or without Kenya birth mother, because Kenya came out just fine. She's doing amazing things. She's a part of history, and she did all that without her biological mother in her life. Her grandmother did an amazing job, and she had an amazing upbringing, okay? So Brooklyn will be fine. So I think that's the issue with the communication. Either the producers are so desperate to show Kenya in this role that they are constantly and heavily editing, her scenes. The problem is not Kenya. Okay, Kenya also said on the Watch What Happens Live video that Mark could also make the argument, can I pick up the phone and call your mother anytime I want to? So for her to make that reference an example, that tells me that there's something deeper going on with Mark and his family that's personal and it have nothing to do with her. For those of you who also pay attention during the charity event, when Mark was talking about his upbringing and things like that, you would notice that he left home at a very young age. His upbringing wasn't too pleasant. So it looks like he's having personal issues with his family. And when I say that, Kenya have to be clear, even though yes, Bravo be editing things and doing all of that. For example, when talking to Cynthia Bailey, she said that Mark talks to the nanny, okay? Meaning he FaceTime Brooklyn through the nanny, talk to Brooklyn every day, but they don't have a conversation. So then if you just focus on the scene with Cynthia Bailey, you feel like, okay, he doesn't want to talk to her, he left her, he doesn't want her, it's over. But then when you go to the candy scene with Kenya, and we have a terrible weather out here in Georgia, thunderstorms and everything. So if you hear noises in the background, I apologize. I'm going to do my best for you guys not to hear it, but hey, I'm recording and the window is right there. So I'm just giving you guys heads up. But if you go back to the scene with Candy and she's complaining about not talking to Marc, Candy didn't ask her, did you unblock his number? She goes, no. So Candy said, okay, then how are you supposed to talk to him with his number being blocked? Exactly my point. So it's like, had Candy not brought that up, then Kenya is making it look like that Marc is not making any effort. They're not talking. But if his number is blocked, how is he supposed to get through to you? Through the nanny? My thing is, yes, I respect Kenya for being transparent, and this is my story. I'm going to tell it all the way to the end. But Kenya, you have given Bravo more than enough. They don't need to come in your husband's closet. They don't need to hear about the parents' situation. I understand all of these things are part of what she's going through, so I respect her for sharing. But you have overshared at this point. They don't even deserve any more from you. You all know how I feel about Marc Daly, okay? Kenya said on Watch What Happens Live that they are still working on their relationship. He came back home, said that he wants to work on his marriage. He doesn't want to walk away from his family. She said, however, if things doesn't change, have a nice life, goodbye. But if he comes back and he's the Marc that she married and fell in love with and all of that, absolutely she's willing to give her marriage a chance. And basically when she moves on in her life, she wants to know that she did everything. She went to counseling, she did everything, and she tried, so that way she knows that I tried. Okay, yes, Marc gave up on his marriage first, but people go through ups and downs, right? So but Kenya have enough sense that if this man continuing to embarrass her, he doesn't change, have a nice life. I'm Kenya Moore. On to the next one until my forever find me. Did Mike Hill give up because after his second wife? No. Cynthia Bailey is about to be wife number 3. It happens. And Mike Hill about to be husband number 2. So it's life. Ups and downs happen, things happen. I'm not encouraging Kenya to do anything as it relates to Marc Daly. However, I am saying is that if Kenya choose, to stay with Marc Daly and he agrees to come back on this show. Now, whatever that's going on in her life, of course, be honest, be transparent. But all I'm saying is, we've already seen Marc the jerk. We've seen that. We don't want it. Okay? If he's not coming back on hands and knees, begging, apologizing publicly on the show or whatever, because I know it's not possible for the reunion anymore because of what's going on and how the reunion is going to be set up and all of that. It's going to be virtual, okay, all of that. So he probably either going to record a message and send it, or he's not going to be on it at all based on how it's happening, and Kenya being in Atlanta and Marc being in New York. Proposing to his wife again, okay, doing a vow renewal because they will be married 3 years this year coming up, okay. We want to see this amazing Marc Daly that Kenya Moore fell in love with. The one that I have witnessed. If you go to the Daly's playlist, there are a lot of videos on there for all of you to see Marc and Kenya in action off camera, okay? This amazing Marc Daly that Candy talks about all the time, the amazing Marc Daly that Cynthia Bailey says she saw, and she just hoped that people would see. We want to see that Marc. We don't want to see, oh, Marc said he changed, but now he's fighting me for custody of Brooklyn. Now, if that's Kenya reality, I'm not saying don't show your reality. I'm just saying, so if it's not moving on into a positive direction, let him go. I'm hoping, based on what Marc have experienced on social media, even if he's not watching the show because he doesn't want to see himself. Oh yes, He's seeing the hate on social media so bad to the point where he turned the comments off, and now they are limited, okay? So he knows. So he knows that he showed his complete exactly on TV. Now that you know, let next season be a season of redemption if you are choosing to stay with your wife and come back. We don't want to see Mark the jerk. We're done. Okay? So that's my only advice to Kenya. Also, real talk. You don't want to turn into a Portia and Dennis. Okay? After the third episode of the same thing, everybody left Portia and Dennis alone. And that's why Portia started picking on Kenya and desperately looking for a fight just to have a storyline. I'm going to talk more about that in my review of the episode. So that's just it. We're not saying don't be honest and show your real life, but if it's the same thing we've already seen, we don't want to see it. We don't want it. You know, Kenya is my girl, but I'm just keeping it real. We don't want it, okay? So I am wishing them the best, and I'm hoping that, you know, if they do decide to reconcile, that yes, it's cool to see, you know, here and there bits and pieces. We went to counseling and things like that. I did love the Kenya and Candy moment, okay, where Kenya said, you know, I'm in no place to give marital advice because I'm going through my own situation. Basically, shut the haters off before they even start. However, this is what you should do. And, you know, so Kenya's suggestions and advices were right on, and even encouraging her friend to go home and be with her man and not be here with me. And then when Candy was like, he's at work, why don't you go and surprise him at work? Take him his favorite food. Like, come through, Kenya. Yes, okay? And girl, you don't want my type of problems, okay? So go home and fix your marriage, because I would give anything to be on the other side, you know, of whatever I'm going through right now with Mark, all right? But anyways, overall, I'm wishing Kenya and her family the best. The end of here, my final loves. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also, turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.